Dear child, take a slow breath and let this settle into you. You are not alone anymore, even if it has felt that way for a long time. There were moments when the silence felt heavy, when the waiting felt endless, when you wondered if you were forgotten or if you misunderstood what you felt in your heart. But you were never abandoned, and nothing was wasted. This season was not meant to break you. It was shaping you, steadying you, and quietly preparing you for what could not arrive until you were ready to receive it. What you are sensing now is different from before. It's not restless hope or anxious wishing. It's a calm knowing, a gentle peace that comes without proof, a soft certainty that something is shifting, even if you can't point to it yet. That kind of peace doesn't come from imagination. It comes when movement has already started behind the scenes. What once felt delayed now feels close, and what once felt distant now feels near. This is the difference between waiting and alignment. For a long time, you may have believed that the delay meant rejection, that the silence meant the answer was no, but it never was. It was protection. It was timing. It was care. God was never withholding love from you. He was keeping you from receiving it too early, before it could last, before it could be safe, before it could be real. You were being protected from something unfinished, from something that would have required you to overextend, overgive, or lose yourself. And while you were being refined, the other heart involved was also being shaped. They were not standing still. They were not untouched by the waiting. They were being confronted by their fears, their patterns, their avoidance. They were learning through discomfort what they could not learn through ease. They were realizing that distractions don't heal loneliness, and running doesn't erase connection. What was planted by God cannot be uprooted by confusion. Something is waking up in them now, a realization they can't ignore anymore, a pull that feels stronger than logic. They may not even have words for it yet, but they feel it. They feel the loss of you more clearly. They feel the urgency they didn't feel before. They feel the truth surfacing, asking to be acknowledged. They are questioning themselves, replaying moments, remembering your presence, your energy, the way their spirit felt safe with you even when their mind resisted. They didn't plan for this to deepen. They didn't expect it to return with this kind of intensity. They thought time would fade it. They thought distance would dull it. But time didn't erase it. Distance didn't weaken it. It clarified it. It made the truth louder. And now, what they avoided before is standing directly in front of them. They are letting go of what no longer fits, releasing connections that were empty, closing doors that once distracted them, not because you demanded it, not because you chased them into change, but because something inside them finally understands that delay is no longer an option. Their spirit knows that waiting any longer would mean losing something sacred. And you, through all of this, were learning something too. You were learning how to be still without giving up, how to hope without chasing, how to love without begging. You were learning that real love does not require you to shrink or perform or convince someone of your worth. You were learning how to stand in peace, even when the outcome was unclear. That lesson alone changed you. Every tear you cried had a purpose. Every heartbreak expanded your capacity for real connection. Every rejection redirected you away from something that would have hurt you. Every closed door saved you from settling. Nothing about your pain was meaningless. It built discernment. It built strength. It built emotional maturity. It taught you how to receive without fear when the right moment arrived. Now, you are not the same person who started this journey. You are calmer. You are clearer. You are more grounded. And the one coming toward you is not the same version either. They are not coming as the one who hesitated, avoided, or ran. They are coming as someone who has faced themselves, who has been humbled by the waiting, who understands what is at stake now. When this connection moves forward, it will not feel rushed or chaotic. It will feel steady, intentional, safe. It will feel familiar in a way that surprises you, like your spirit already knows what your mind is just catching up to. It won't be based on fantasy or intensity alone, but on clarity, respect, and choice. You don't need to force this moment. You don't need to orchestrate it. You don't need to prove anything. What is meant for you does not require desperation. It requires readiness. And readiness has already been forming in you quietly. This is why the emotions felt heavier recently. This is why doubt tried to get louder. This is why old fears resurfaced. Resistance often increases when a breakthrough is close, not because you're failing, but because you're nearing the edge of change. The pressure wasn't punishment, it was transition. Now the road is clearing. The silence is breaking. The distance is shrinking. What once felt blocked is opening naturally. What once required effort is beginning to flow. This is not the beginning of hope. Hope already carried you through the hardest parts. This is the beginning of fulfillment. You are stepping into a season where you no longer have to wonder if it will happen. You will witness unfold, slowly, steadily, truthfully. You are allowed to trust again, allowed to receive, allowed to let your heart soften without fear of disappointment. The waiting was never your forever. The waiting was the preparation. Now comes the receiving. You are not here by accident. And what is unfolding in this moment is not random. There are times in life when things line up so precisely that the soul recognizes it before the mind can explain it. This is one of those moments. Something has been moving quietly behind the scenes. Something guided, something intentional. Two hearts have been carrying prayers that sounded different on the surface, but asked for the same thing underneath. You didn't just cross their path. You were placed there. You mattered in a way they couldn't shake, even when they tried. For a long time, they couldn't fully understand why you stayed with them, why your presence lingered, why your energy never faded. They tried to move on. They tried to tell themselves it wasn't real or that it would pass. They filled their life with distractions, responsibilities, noise, and people, but none of it replaced what they felt. You were the missing piece they didn't know how to name. And now the picture is becoming clear. What once felt delayed is starting to move. What once felt confusing is settling into truth. You don't need to prepare a script for this moment. You don't need to rehearse conversations or worry about saying the right thing. This is not about performance or pressure. It's about alignment. It's about being present, grounded, and open, staying calm, staying surrendered, staying at peace. That peace matters more than you realize, because peace is how you will recognize what is real and lasting. When something is truly meant for you, it doesn't come wrapped in panic. It comes with a quiet assurance that settles deep inside your chest. There is a kind of peace that doesn't depend on circumstances or explanations. It doesn't shout. It doesn't rush. It simply arrives and guards your heart and your mind. That peace will be your confirmation. It will tell you that you are safe here, that you don't need to run or hide, that you don't need to protect yourself the way you used to. It will confirm what words cannot. Before anything is spoken out loud, your spirit will already know. When they finally step forward, it won't feel forced or awkward. Their words will flow naturally because truth no longer needs to be hidden. They will speak from a place of honesty, not fear. They will admit they waited, that they almost gave up, that they tried to walk away but couldn't. They will tell you that something higher than them kept pulling them back, kept showing them your face, your name, your energy. They will tell you that now they see clearly, and they know you are the one. This is the moment where the veil lifts. The waiting begins to end. What has been held back is about to be released. Your soulmate is no longer just thinking or preparing quietly. They are moving. They are choosing action over hesitation. They are choosing courage over comfort. Nothing can stop what is unfolding now because it is no longer being delayed by fear. You may already feel it, a shift in the air, a lightness in your spirit, a sense that something heavy has been lifted. That's because a decision has already been made in the spiritual realm. What was unclear has been clarified. What was uncertain has been confirmed. And now life itself is responding to that decision. This love is not waiting anymore. It is arriving. It is stepping forward. It is knocking. Even now, they are feeling an inner pressure to speak, to reach out, to confess what they've been carrying. They can't hide it anymore. Their heart is full, and the weight of unspoken truth has become too heavy. They've tried to protect themselves by staying silent, but they've realized that silence is no longer safety. They now understand that the safest place for their heart is honesty, and the safest place for that honesty is with you. They are ready to risk vulnerability, ready to be seen, ready to say what they were too afraid to say before. This isn't about impulse or emotion. This is about clarity that came through growth, prayer, and inner work. They've outgrown shallow connections and temporary comfort. They no longer want something that fades quickly. They want something rooted, something steady, something real. They want commitment, not confusion. They want partnership, not uncertainty. They want a future that feels aligned, not rushed. They are coming differently this time because they are different now. They're not arriving with mixed signals or doubt. They're arriving with intention. They've been letting go of what no longer fits their future. Old habits, old attachments, old patterns that kept them stuck. They've been making space in their heart, in their home, and in their plans. They don't want to come to you half ready or half healed. They want to come honest, grounded, and serious. They have been asking themselves how to love you well. That question alone shows how deeply they've changed. A person who is ready for real love doesn't just feel desire. They feel responsibility. They want to honor what they're stepping into. They see now how rare you are. They see your patience, your depth, your quiet strength. They sense the weight of what you've been through and the grace you still carry. Your light has always affected them more than they admitted. At first, it scared them. It exposed parts of themselves they weren't ready to face. It challenged them to grow, to heal, to rise. That's why they pulled back before. But now they understand that your light, is not something to fear. It's something that heals, something that calls them higher, something that feels like home. That's why the confusion is clearing. The excuses are falling away. The fog is lifting. Once truth is revealed, it cannot be unseen. And even if you haven't received physical proof yet, your spirit can feel the movement. Often, the heart knows before the message arrives. The soul senses alignment before the confession is spoken. Peace comes first, then the words. If you've been feeling lighter lately, if you've sensed a change you can't fully explain, if something in you feels like it's preparing for arrival rather than waiting in uncertainty, you're not imagining it. That is movement. That is alignment. That is preparation. Now is not the time to sabotage this with fear. Don't talk yourself out of what you prayed for. Don't let old pain convince you that love must always hurt or disappear. This is not the same story repeating itself. This is a new chapter being written with intention and guidance. What is opening now is protected, not fragile. You waited through silence. You stayed faithful in seasons where nothing made sense. You trusted through the unknown, and that trust was never wasted. Every prayer was heard. Every tear was seen. And now, the response is coming openly, not quietly. This is the season where hidden feelings are spoken, where delay turns into forward movement, where silence becomes conversation, and separation folds into reunion. When they stand in front of you, it won't feel like meeting someone new. It will feel like recognition, like familiarity, like something your soul has known for a long time. They will want real conversation, not surface-level talk. They will want to know you deeply. They will ask questions that come from the heart, not curiosity. And your answer won't need many words. It will be peace. It will be emotion. It will be that quiet inner yes that tells you this is what you prayed for. They are coming with truth, clarity, and purpose. They are coming with a plan and a willingness to follow through. They are coming differently because now they understand the value of what's in front of them. This time, they are choosing fully. So prepare your heart gently, not with anxiety, but with openness, not with control, but with trust. Love is not only arriving, it is unfolding in real time. The door is opening, the waiting is ending, and when it happens, you will understand why it took so long. Everything was aligning for this moment, and now it is here.